Honoring your request and our previous conversation, I'll tell you the story of how the elements, the building blocks of the universe, were formed, similar to the story of Earth's creation. From stellar dust, the birth of the elements, in the very first moments after the Big Bang. The universe was so hot and dense that atoms as we know them could not exist. Everything was a plasma of fundamental particles like quarks and electrons. As the universe expanded and cooled, these particles came together to form protons and neutrons. In the first few minutes after the Big Bang, the universe was still hot enough for a process called nucleosynthesis to occur. During this time, protons and neutrons combined to form the nuclei of the lightest elements in the universe, hydrogen and helium. For a long time, the universe was very simple, consisting of about 98% of these two elements. Millions of years later, under the influence of gravity, clouds of hydrogen and helium gas came together to form the first stars. In the heart of a star, the temperature and pressure was so immense that hydrogen nuclei began to fuse together to create helium. This process is called nuclear fusion, and it's what powers the stars as a star ages. Its core gets even hotter and the pressure increases. This allows helium atoms to fuse, creating heavier elements like carbon and oxygen. This process can continue, depending on the star's mass, all the way up to iron. Stars are, in essence, cosmic element factories. So, how were elements heavier than iron created? This is where the most dramatic part of the story begins. Stars much more massive than our Sun end their lives in a tremendous explosion called a supernova. During a supernova, the energy and pressure released are so powerful that they can forge elements even heavier than iron, such as gold, silver, and uranium. These explosions scatter all of these elements from inside the star out into the depths of space. Every element in the universe, from the high Alright, let's turn that story into English. The creation of water, joy from the heavens. When the universe was still a formless void, 7 cosmic beings appeared. Each was the spirit of an element, while others were preparing the earth and fire. The cosmic being water had a completely different task. It was to fill the world with joy and life. The water being descended to the earth, with whispers from the skies and a light dew. This pure and clear essence first spread across the planet's surface in a thin layer. In time, this layer transformed into a deep, mysterious ocean that covered the entire globe. 4 billions of years. These oceans whispered, swelled, and carried the first seeds of life within them. But water's creation wasn't limited to the oceans. It climbed to the peaks of the mountains created by the earth, being and froze into crystal clear snowflakes. As these snowflakes melted, they formed cascading waterfalls and serene rivers flowing down the mountains. These rivers nourished the land, creating the channels necessary for life to blossom. Water also ascended to the sky. Billions of drops formed clouds that danced with the wind. These clouds, in turn, rained down on the dry parts of the earth, completing the cycle. Thus, the water being created oceans, rivers, lakes, and the clouds in the sky, becoming the element that carries life to every corner of the world. It was a creator that shaped both the heart and soul of the planet. How wind forms. Wind is simply the movement of air. The primary cause of wind is the differences in temperature and pressure across the Earth's surface. These differences push air from one place to another. The process of wind formation. 1. Sun and heating. The sun's rays heat the Earth's surface, but this heating isn't uniform. Regions like the equator get more heat, while the poles get less. Land also heats up and cools down faster than water. 2. 2. Air expansion and rising. When air heats up, it expands and becomes lighter. This lighter air begins to rise, creating a void below it. 3. Pressure. Difference. In the area where warm air rises, a low pressure zone is created. In contrast, cold air is denser and heavier, so it stays closer to the surface, creating a high pressure zone for airflow. Nature tries to balance this pressure difference. Because of this, the cold air from the high pressure zone flows horizontally toward the low pressure warm air zone. This horizontal movement is what we call wind. In short, wind is created by a pressure difference that occurs when the air in one region is warmer or colder than the air in another. It's like releasing air from a balloon. The air rushes from the high pressure inside to the low pressure outside. The speed of the wind depends on how large this pressure difference is. The bigger the difference, the faster the wind blows. The formation of Earth. As a fundamental element, Earth represents stability, fertility, and foundation. In a physical sense, it's the result of a complex process that takes thousands, even millions of years. Several factors influence this process. 1. Parent material, bedrock. The formation of soil begins with the breakdown of the parent rock in a specific area. This bedrock provides the essential minerals and nutrients for the soil. These rocks are formed through volcanic eruptions, glacial movements, or sediments deposited by water. 2. Weathering and decomposition. Over time, the parent rock breaks down into smaller pieces. This decomposition happens in 2 ways. Physical weathering. Factors like wind, water, and ice break the rocks apart. For example, water that seeps into cracks in rocks expands when it freezes, causing the rock to split. Wind-blown sand particles also erode rocks. Chemical weathering, rainwater, and the acids within it alter the chemical structure of the rocks, turning them into smaller particles. 3. Biological influence. As the rock particles decompose, plants and microorganisms begin to settle in. Plant roots further break down the rocks and mix organic matter into the soil. The remains of dead plants and animals enrich the soil with nutrients. This organic matter is a key component that makes soil fertile. 4. Climate and time. Climate plays a crucial role in soil formation. Rainfall and temperature can either speed up or slow down the weathering process. It can take thousands of years for just a few centimeters of fertile soil to form. This is why soil is one of the world's slowest renewing resources. In summary, soil is formed through the physical and chemical breakdown of bedrock, the mixing of these particles with organic matter, and the continuation of this process over vast periods of time. The arrival of fire on Earth. Scientifically, fire was not created by anyone. It was already present in nature. Its natural formation dates back much further than humanity's discovery of it. Here are some scientific explanations for how fire came to be on Earth. Natural occurrences. The first fires on Earth most likely originated from events like lightning, strikes, and volcanic eruptions. Lightning. A lightning bolt hitting dry trees or grasslands can cause an immediate fire. The first fires started this way, and they were likely the first examples of fire ever seen by humanity. Volcanoes. When a volcano erupts, the flowing lava burns everything it touches. These lava flows can ignite forests and vegetation in the surrounding area, leading to fires. Friction. Dry tree branches rubbing against each other in the wind can generate enough friction and heat to ignite. This is another way fire naturally comes into existence. Humanity's discovery. Humankind gained control of fire approximately 1.5 million years ago. Initially, they started by taking and preserving fire from naturally occurring wildfires. Later, they developed methods to produce sparks and heat by striking two hard stones together or rapidly spinning a stick on a piece of wood. In conclusion, fire did not arrive on Earth all at once. It existed naturally through the effects of lightning, volcanoes, and friction. Humanity, over time, learned how to control this power, marking a crucial step in the development of civilization.